Home Depot, the concern over the course of the last maybe few quarters, I mean, it's been tough comps, but it's been falling lumber prices, it's been profit margin concerns and everything else. What exactly will be key for you today?
Well, we think what we'll hear is still a down quarter when we report in about 20 minutes, but less down than last quarter and not getting worse. So what we think it's all about right now for Home Depot and Lowe's and some of the other retailers is sort of bouncing along the bottom, stable, whatever adjective you want to use, but not getting worse. And expectations are low, so it's not a bad setup into earnings right now in our view.
Okay, so if it's a good setup, is this a stock, is this a company that can benefit? There's been a huge macro question about whether or not we're seeing some kind of a troughing process taking part in the housing market on the residential side of things, whether or not we see a little bit more activity. Interest rates are obviously a big part of that story. Does home improvement, like a Home Depot or a Lowe's by extension, benefit right now if we start to see the housing market get a little bit better?
Well, they will. We don't think they're benefiting yet, but we do think they are bouncing along the bottom and getting close to that. But the number that we look at is the year-over-year change in home pricing, and that's actually been down 4 months in a row, which is pretty unprecedented. So that's what's been weighing against comps. But as much as it's been down 4 months in a row on a sequential basis, it is getting better. And so we think at some point in the next couple of months, we'll start to see home prices up on a year-over-year basis. We think that'll be a signal that comps have bottomed for the space and can tick back up.
Okay, so this is a stock right now that currently trades, I don't know, just about maybe 22 times forward earnings. It's not that far off of the overall market multiple, but is it attractive enough in your mind from a valuation perspective that we do see some kind of an earnings catalyst maybe drive this stock and get some momentum to the near-term upside?
Well, yeah, it is trading a little bit above its historical average. Again, in the very short term, just as it relates to today, we think that the setup is okay. Low expectations. We think they can beat a little bit, so you might get a little bit of a pop in the stock. We prefer Lowe's actually on a longer-term basis just because of the differential in the margins. Home Depot, best-in-class retailer with higher margins than Lowe's, but Lowe's has been closing that gap over the past 4 or 5 years. We think that'll continue. Lowe's has outperformed Home Depot year to date, and we think that continues. But again, in the very short term, with the way the setup is this morning, we could see a little bit of a pop at Home Depot if we're right on the numbers and they come in, negative but less negative than last quarter.